Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video. In this video we're going to talk about the Ninja Turtles yet again. And I saw this article that says that is titled Why Shredder was and then wasn't included in the upcoming Ninja Turtles next Mutant Mayhem movie. And that was in I haven't read this article. I never really read I rarely ever read articles ahead of time before I make videos because I want my first reaction to be shown to you guys. But that that just interests me. Why the Shredder was originally why they took the Shredder out essentially when they had some plans to put him in. Now, I've gone to this article that says that a previous video where they did say that they were waiting to, waiting to use the Shredder into, future movies, but I want to get some insight a little bit of why they put Shredder in and then out of Mutant Mayhem. So let's give this a read, shall we? The upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem features a number of hallmark and beloved elements of the franchise, from the titular characters' signature weapons to their insatiable hunger for pizza. But one iconic part of the fictional world is noticeably missing: the villainous Shredder. Instead of featuring the canon's most well-known antagonist and his loyal army of the Foot Clan ninjas, the film is instead pitting the heroes against a crime scourge named Superfly and his gang of mutants. This is something that may cause some head-scratching among diehards, but there is a specific reason to ask why the filmmakers made that choice. So earlier this week, this person who made this article interviewed Jeff Rowe, who's one of the directors of this film, at San Diego Comic-Con, and it was early in their conversation when the subject of the Shredder came up. This person, quote unquote, my opening question was about how different the final cut of the movie is compared to the first draft of the screenplay, and Rowe explained that it was a completely different story than the audiences are going to see next month. And notably, it featured Shredder as the antagonist alongside Baxter Stockman. So this is what Jeff Rowe said. The first draft was completely different. Could not be more different. We thrown away. We made 8 versions of the movie to get to this version of the movie, and they're all radically different from each other. But the first version of the movie, they were in high school by page 20. Shredder was a villain. Baxter Stockman was a villain. It was different from what's there now. And it was just a long process of honing in on what we actually cared about as filmmakers. Mutant Mayhem ended up developing as more of a coming-to-age adventure for its main characters, keeping them young and isolated from the human world, which made a battle with fellow mutants who are rejecting society as exciting and interesting conflict for the plot. Jeff Rowe explained that there wasn't any kind of impulse to stay away from the Shredder because he's been featured so many times on the big screen. Instead, the decision to move away from featuring him in the film was purely in the interest of telling the best story. Quote unquote, the first version we were like, that's it. Obviously it's gonna be a Shredder and the Foot Clan movie. And then as we got into the emotional story of the Turtles and their longing of for acceptance, it made sense for the villain to be a mutant like them and be able to relate to them and have a similar backstory to them, all of which precluded Shredder. And then it became a real opportunity because we could then focus on introducing the world in this version of these characters and then make an amazing Shredder movie afterwards. Okay? I'm just soaking that in. We are waiting for news about the potential sequel to this new vision of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But it's fun to know how the blossoming canon has a lot of exciting stuff in the back pocket in the future. Not wanting to put the cart before the horse, however, we're still counting down to the days until the release of Mutant Mayhem, which is now just days away and aiming to be one of the biggest films of the summer. Okay, so and the movie will be out on August 2nd. So essentially, like, I'm gonna reread this for a second. The first film, we were like, that's it. Obviously, it's gonna be Shredder and the Foot Clan movie. And then as we got into the emotional story of the Turtles and their longing for acceptance, it made sense for the villain to be a mutant like them and be able to relate to them and have a similar backstory to them, all of which precluded Shredder. And then it became a real opportunity because we could then focus on introducing the world into this version of the characters and then making an amazing Shredder movie afterwards. My eyes kind of fixed into the last part, which I will repeat one more time. And then it became a real opportunity because we could then focus on introducing the world to this version of these characters and then make an amazing Shredder movie afterwards. That part I can honestly respect for why they didn't bring in the Shredder initially. I think as hesitant as I've been to Mutant Mayhem, I do like the idea of kind of like giving the Shredder a break for a little bit and having another character be the big bad in the movie, because literally all the Ninja Turtles movies that we had, there was no, like, with the exception of like the third Ninja Turtle movie in the 1990 trilogy, or I should like rephrase that, all the Ninja Turtle films that we had the Shredder in the introduction movie per se. The 1990s trilogy had it, and some say that the 2007 movie is a loose sequel to the 90s trilogy. Church Forever movie had the Shredder. The Michael Bay Turtles had the Shredder. The Batman vs. Ninja Turtles had the Shredder. And even I'll give the Rise of the Ninja Turtles movie. Now I'm saying them out loud. That's the only one that I feel like didn't have the Shredder in it. But in that universe, they kind of already had the Shredder. But, so, like, I can respect them having a movie where they introduce a new version of the Turtles, and then assuming this movie has a sequel, then introducing the Shredder. Assuming this gets a sequel, assuming this is, like, way better than I have in my head, and this gets a sequel, right? I'll be very interested that now that we already got these turtles, we were already acquainted with these turtles and already have this universe set. How would their Shredder, their version of Rokusaki come into play, right? Did this Rokusaki kill Splinter? Like, do like what's that exact connection that the Shredder has with the Turtles and Splinter? Because all the versions I've seen with the Shredder always has some special connection to the Turtles' origins per se, whether it's to like Splinter alone or Hamato Yoshi, precise in a way. If you guys get my meaning, because like there's two versions that like everyone associates with the origins of the Shredder, I mean of the Turtles. Splinter was Hamato Yoshi, and Hamato Yoshi and Splinter in some cases were friends, turn rivals. Some cases like they were always rivals, or like Splinter was the and then Hamato Yoshi goes to America or whatever to New York, and he innocently gets turned into Splinter, or Splinter was always a rat, a pet rat that his master Yoshi, his owner, pet owner, got killed, and later on got turned into a mutant rat. So, like, I would be interested, after getting these turtles established, what kind of connection does this Shredder have to the Turtles and Splinter? Splinter, more specifically. Is Shredder partially responsible like a bit more responsible for like I guess like Splinter to be and the Turtles to be mutated, because you can kind of say like if it wasn't for like Master Yoshi getting exiled or killed and Splinter moving to New York, then highly unlikely that Splinter and the Turtles would be mutated. So that does intrigue me a bit. But again, like I said, in like multiple videos, I'm very hesitant of these turtles, and that's because Seth Rogen is part of the creative team. Like in terms of being in charge of, if he was just an actor, then I'd probably be a bit more excited for this film. But seeing how Seth Rogen involved in the creative aspect, and not just like being an actor, then I'm kind of like very hesitant about this. But anyways, what do you beautiful people have to say? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you fellow mutants later.